Welcome back to Tasting Tuesday, the day of the week where I give you a tip to make your whole life just a little bit tastier. Last week we talked about strategically sniffing to get those aromas up the front of your nose to those olfactory receptors back here. And this week we're going to talk about the other pathway to get there, which is up the back of your throat. So you're going to go up the back of your throat, right to your olfactory receptor. There's a couple ways to do that. Every time you take a sip, a little bit of gas is actually going up your throat to them, but you can take a very pointed approach, a very specific method. It's called the retronasal sniff, and it's multi-step. A few things people have the hardest time with in my blind tasting classes, so don't be intimidated. Plenty of time to practice. I'll talk through the steps, then I'll show it, and then we'll do it together. The first step's pretty easy. All you have to do is hold your nose, and it's really important that you totally seal your nose. You don't want any aroma compounds coming out of the glass up your nostril. It'll interfere with what you're smelling retronasally. The second step is also extremely important, and that is to inhale. People forget to take a breath, and then you end up like coughing halfway through the process. Then you're going to take a medium sip of beer or any sample, wine, tea, olive oil, and close your mouth. And your lips will be closed now for the next 2 minutes, say. You're not going to reopen them. That's super important because the minute you open your mouth, you're letting aroma out, you're just not going to get the full sensation of a retronasal aroma. Keeping them closed, you'll swish that sip around your mouth, make sure it really coats the whole inside of your mouth, make sure it hits all the parts of your mouth. There's taste buds and taste receptors and olfactory receptors everywhere. So now we're swishing, we took a sip, you're holding your nose. You're going to swallow with your lips closed. Then you're going to exhale as pretty much as hard as you can, like you're blowing your nose out your nose as you swallow. So as that liquid's going down, you're trying to push as much of the aroma up the back of your throat into that olfactory epithelial. And keep those lips closed, and you will notice it feels like your mouth is filling with flavor. It's a sensation that it feels like a taste, but it's totally all your olfactory receptors, all of your sense of smell that's filling your mouth with those flavors and letting you know what you're smelling that way. So let's do it together. So step 1, holding. Step 2, I'm breathing in. I'm about to seal my lips and keep them closed. See how long I kept my mouth closed there? If you don't keep your mouth closed, you're gonna miss out on everything that's forming in your mouth. So let's try that again. I'm gonna seal my nose, take a breath, take a sip, close my lips, swish it, swallow it, exhale, keep those lips closed. And ready? So we're gonna go. This one is kind of cool. I'm getting like a lot of dark fruit, which I wasn't really getting when I was just sniffing it. I was also talking, so maybe when I'm focusing, I'm getting more dark fruit. A really good example of this sensation is with a German Weissbier, which that banana flavor that's signature to that style will really fill your mouth when you do that exhale. Like if you keep those lips closed, you're gonna feel like your mouth is filling with the flavor of banana Laffy Taffy or banana runts or banana bread. It's really interesting, and that's my favorite one to really show people how this sense works. So last week we looked at the front of your nose. This week it's the back of your nose. And next week we'll look at how to parse all the things that you're smelling. You know, we learned how to get aroma up to those olfactory receptors and how to make sure they're really getting the most out of the aroma. And now we'll think about ways to break down what we're smelling and really make sense of what might be in our glass if it's a blind test, or get the most out of your beer if you're just here to enjoy. Up to that olfactory receptor, which is really your olfactory epithelium. For a fun fact you can use at parties.